The future is yours in Season 9. In addition to all new gameplay, new locations, and new challenges, there's a brand new Battle Pass. When you first buy the pass, you'll immediately get 2 outfits, Sentinel and Rocks, progressive with new dual axes. And if you opt in for the Battle Bundle, you'll instantly get this guy. Plus, there are new high-tech wraps, mechanized pets, emotes, and more to earn throughout the Battle Pass. At Tier 100, you'll unlock a new progressive outfit, Vendetta. Remember, you keep all the rewards you earn after the season ends. New to this season's Battle Pass are Fort Bites. Use clues to earn and locate hidden pickups around the island, helping you unlock rewards and uncover the secrets of Season 9. The Season 9 Battle Pass is available right now for just 950 V-Bucks, so drop in and get juiced up for a brand new season.
Yo, check this out. Yo, check this out. Yo, check this. Yo, check this out.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can qualify to compete for your chance at a piece of the $30 million prize pool. But how will these work, you ask? Each week will alternate back and forth between solos and duos competition, with players qualifying from each server region in Oceania, Asia, Europe, Brazil, NA East, and NA West. To find specifics for your server region, go to Fortnite.com/World Cup. To play in the online opens, you'll need to compete in the new Arena mode, an always-on form of competition where players can rank up tiers and leagues. It all starts in the Open League, and when players earn 125 points, they'll advance into Contenders League. After that, you'll need to build your way up to 300 points to unlock Champion League, where the Saturday Online Open players will be chosen. Then, we'll take the top 3,000 solo players or 1,500 duos from that Saturday's semifinals and advance them to the Sunday finals. Each Sunday, 20 players will rise to the top and qualify to join us in New York for the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Buckle up, because we're officially on the road to the Fortnite World Cup Finals.
What's up, Fortnite fam? I'm Zeke.
And I'm Sundown.
We're officially past the halfway point of the Fortnite World Cup Online Open qualifiers. This was a big week for a lot of players, so let's recap what went down. With a spot up for grabs in Oceania, we knew the competition would be fierce, but we had no idea that Volks and Parpy would drop a record-breaking scoreline. In fact, the easiest way to break this down is to just show their match history. They played 8 total matches. Of those 8, 5 were victory royales, and the duo picked up 102 eliminations total, good for a whopping 159 points when all was said and done. 6 of their matches were double-digit elimination performances, and 2 of those were 20-plus elimination games. Their performance was truly incredible. Volks and Parpy have reliably been on top of the leaderboard every weekend, so expect to see them placing high as they attempt to qualify for solos and get in duos practice as we head into the finals.
Asia has an incredible talent pool, and we've already started seeing the consistent players rise to the top. 5 teams had their eyes set on a single qualifying spot. KGA's Sexy Boy and Backhoe, the 2 top duos of Banny and Faxfox and Ming and Puzz, Medusa and Quix, and then Mendy and XXM from Newbie. While battling it out, Sexy Boy and Backhoe pulled out in front and were leading the pack. However, in their last game, Newbie's X-Mendy and XXM clutched up big time and picked up a victory royale along with 4 eliminations, landing 14 points. This put them into first place by just 4 points and was enough to punch their tickets to the finals in New York City.
E11's Stompy and Tashinkin are easily one of the scariest duos going into the Fortnite World Cup final. They qualified back in Week 2. In Week 4, they dominated, placing first. And guess what? They did it again! In Week 6, they held the #1 spot with 105 points, the only duo to break a triple-digit score. Keep in mind though, Stompy and Tashinkin weren't the only players to have already qualified that placed top 10. The duo of Energy Benji Fishy and Mr. Savage placed 3rd, and Secret Mongrel and Atlantis Metro placed 6th. Because these titans had already qualified, there were still 2 spots available. The story out of EU this week was consistency and redemption. For 2 weeks, we've watched the Solary duo of Nikoff and Airwalks come so close to be edged out at the very end, just barely missing the qualification. This was their week. They knew they had to bring it, and they claimed the first of 4 spots up for grabs. But it wasn't only them. Their teammates Kinsar and Hunter also qualified. This was a huge week for the French team, because the entire Solary crew is going to the finals together, taking the first 2 qualifying spots. Lanouf and Quinton jumped up the leaderboard from 30th to 5th with an incredible last game, where they dropped a 10 elim victory royale. With a single spot left, VP 7SSK7 and Jamside and BTL Orange and XOXO tied with 86 points. They tied at points, they tied at victory royales. But the VP duo came out ahead in average elims, earning them the final spot in Europe.
In Brazil, W7M PF Zen and W7M Nyx qualified in Week 2, and they were back to show the world that they were a formidable duo, topping the leaderboard with 117 points. This meant there was still a spot on the line, and again, it came down to tiebreakers. The duos of Gustavo X8 and Wishy DP and King and Xzone both had 110 points. However, Gustavo and Wishy winning 4 out of their 8 games made the difference, with victory royales being the tiebreaker and the wins being enough to send them through to New York City. Over in North America, East was up first with 3 qualifying spots up for grabs. The 100 Thieves duo of Cease and Elevate were 1 point from qualifying back in Week 4, and with a great showing the day before, they knew that Week 6 was their week to qualify. They took home the #1 spot. Complexity's Landjock and Punisher slid into the 2nd place in the last few moments, with a top 5 finish with a couple of elims helping them claim the #2 spot. Energy Zate and Go Saf placed 3rd, and Misfits Clicks and Skeptic placed 4th. Both of these duos already qualified previously, so the last spot went to the duo from FaZe, Mega and Dubs, who had 88 points in 5th. Their incredible run was topped off with 53 points in their last 2 matches, in 18 elimination and 15 elimination back-to-back victory royales to book a spot in New York City.
The final region of the day saw 1 spot up for grabs in NA West. S2J and S2 Little were able to overcome the rest of the competition. Their 102 points was enough to barely edge out Love Voxy and Love See It Dark, as well as a late surge from Goshan and Aiden. Little and Jay were able to balance aggression with solid placements to secure the final duo spot of the week. We're over halfway through the competition, so players will only have a handful of opportunities to claim spots and make it to the Fortnite World Cup Finals. Thanks for joining us, Fortnite fam. I'm Zeke.
And I'm Sundown, and we'll see you guys on the Battle Bus.
was a shocker. Like, it was seriously amazing. It's still hitting me, like, slowly. Everyone's like telling me congratulations and all that, but it's amazing. You feel so free, it's ridiculous. For people that are trying to get first, I recommend you guys just stay positive all the way. If you die first game, second game, it doesn't matter. Keep that positivity in your head. Do not say anything negative about yourself. It's amazing how Papi and I did it. Every time he felt down, I always screamed at him like, you need to wake up, bro. Like, today is our day. We cannot lose this. So always keep positive, always.
Our last match was so crazy. We landed Paradise Palms like always, and we saw like 5 or 6 duos, and we was, oh my god, what are we gonna do? We have no mats, we have no nothing. We fight, kill, and then one duo came from, I don't know, from other place and just kill us. But we got our kills, and that was enough. So the best way is analyze your game, find the mistakes and fix it, and you're gonna understand what to do.
Having a team house is pretty beneficial for me because instead of just having 2 people's input with a VOD review, now you have like 5 people or 4 people. It kind of makes the job a lot easier in a sense because everyone's working so hard towards it. Everyone has good ideas. So if you like mix everyone's good ideas, you can really get like a really good product, especially just like after hard losses and stuff. You have like a group to go back on instead of yourself and your like pillow to cry into.
Season 9, the map changes, it's perfect. The wind tunnels and then the drones that are in the sky, like for rotations and for mats and just like the way that we play, it literally fits perfect into our play style. The game was in its most perfect state that it's been. Everything just works really well. I think it's super easy to outplay other players and just abuse your game sense, basically.
My biggest advice for players trying to make it in top 3,000 is actually quite simple. You know, you don't specifically need to be playing at the highest level of practice, but you need to just learn the highest level of gameplay. You don't have to be the best in the world to qualify. Just be confident, and remember, when you think you're nervous, say that you're excited. That's one of the greatest tools and tips I can give you guys.
I go to a public school, so some people know me. They call me Face Mega. It's funny. My whole school knows about it. Like, even at one point, sometimes like if I miss school, like I was sick or something and I start up stream, some of the teachers even like know about it too. Like one of my teachers even showed it on the projector, and everyone in my school like, wow, this is crazy, you joined FaZe. Like, the hype's really real.
It's just kind of nice because it's the only game that's 13 plus. Like, it's a game I can compete in, and I think that's why I have so much fun in it. But me and Little have always been friends. I remember the specific day that Fortnite said that 13 plus was for World Cup. He DM'd me and he said we should try out, and we did try out. And I wasn't as experienced then. After we tried out this time, we just did super well. And I told my partner, I think I have a good opportunity. I'm going to take it. And I took it. And we made it to a World Cup, I guess. It's like, if you have the motivation, you can do it.
I mean, qualify for New York City was like speechless. I mean, we didn't know what to say. At first, my family and friends were just like, it's just a game, you should just get off of it. And I ended up getting like 15th, 4th and stuff like that. I got first and I told them they were all ecstatic after. I'm incredibly grateful for Fortnite for like giving me the opportunity to just pursue gaming and how many friends I've made through this game.
Hey Fortnite fam, Ball2W here to get in the nitty gritty of competitive Fortnite. The final circles in competitive Fortnite are packed tightly with both action and players, all fighting to get the victory royale. Let's introduce one of the most common techniques used to outlast your opponents in those congested final zones. What is tunneling? Also known as snaking or pathing, this is when you build a protected tunnel while running away from the storm and into the next safe zone. When these safe zones get so small, this becomes very, very important, as there can be opposing players on all sides of you. Here's an example of the most basic tunnel, the straight tunnel. From your base, you simply build straight towards your destination straight ahead of you, with the floor piece below your feet and above your head. This is the most basic and also dangerous version of the tunnel, since you're not covering horizontally. You're exposed from your sides. However, you save materials by doing this. The materials you spend covering your sides quickly add up. Then, if you need to go diagonally to get where you need to go, you'll often see players do the diagonal tunnel. At its most basic, it's very similar. You're just changing directions as you go, once left, once right. This is very useful since sometimes you'll encounter enemies that you want to get away from on the road to the Victory Royale, or the next safe zone is in a diagonal direction. So just change directions and move, but make sure to stay safe from the storm. Now we talked about how you're exposed from your sides. In both versions, you can add walls to either side, or both left and right, or even in front as well. This gets really hard really fast, and this is why it's so impressive that not only are these high-level players tunneling so fast and without error, but at the same time going for crazy plays on unsuspecting opponents to rack up elimination points as well as placement points. It's a lot to take in, and oftentimes they do things so fast that you can't even keep up. Watching players like Cease, Bizzle, Mongrel, Benji Fishy, and all the players playing in the Fortnite World Cup Online Open play from their tunnels can be jaw-dropping. So there you have it, tunneling. One of the most important skills in competitive Fortnite. It's pretty simple at its core, but at the high pace of these congested endgames, it gets complicated. That means you need to practice, and make sure to hop in creative mode and do just that. You can practice it in the open on your own island, or use one of the many amazing pre-built training courses that creators have made. This was BallTW, and we'll see you in game.
Alright, Fortnite fam, we just got here for week 6. Let's go meet up with the casters, see what's up, and then let's get into some of these games. It's week 6 time, baby! Woo!
Alright, so everyone's getting excited and geared up for today.
They're not getting any opportunities, and he does pick one up, so it's now a 1v1. The Storm's gonna take him out.
But they are gonna be split up just a little bit here, so they gotta get back together. You can see Andalex, he's flying around.
Attention reverse on another layer ninja, just keeping it nice and textbook. 98 points coming out from airwalks and Nick up.
You've seen the new John Wick on Fortnite? They even made a movie out of it. Wow. There goes the jump pad. Andalex gets the jump pad, but it's not going to be enough. He only had 10 HP and a dream.
Flash, my best friend. Oh.
Yes. Could it be me? If Ben.
Oh, yeah. You guys know I talk a lot about Beck on broadcast, but I think it's time we go meet the guru of graphics. So let's go say hi to Becca.
What's up, Fortnite fam? Becca here, and I do graphics. I fly graphics during the show. I'm part of 2 different teams, creative team and production team. Creative team consists of design and integration. Production is this. I am an integrator and an operator. So I basically am in charge of making sure that all these graphics go to broadcast at the right time with the right information. Big responsibility, I suppose. If you look here, these are all the different kind of graphics that we have. We have social, time left, standings. This is only 1/2 of the standings. Also have to check this half of the standings, you know? That's pretty much my job in a nutshell.
Yo, dude, money's changed you.
No, I'm doing a bit, man. It's not what you think.
Oh man, money's changed you, man.
Yo, what up, Fortnite fam? I'm Zeke, and I'm here to talk about the block party.
All right, it's finals day. Now this is a big opportunity for a lot of players, but it's also a big deal for the crew as well. So let's go see how they get hyped for the broadcast.
Normally, what we do is quotes from Shaq to motivate us on Sundays.
Shaquille O'Neal, my hero, your hero, he once said, we want to win. We want to win big. We want to win the whole thing.
I'd like to win the whole thing.
You know what?
I'd like to win the whole thing
today. When you lose, talk little. When you win, talk less.
Wow.
That's the worst one yet.
Oh, didn't see you there.
I'm 4th string all-star left winger Sundown for the Lazy Lagoon Llamas, and I'm here to let you know when I need to refuel from a long day of ice skating out there and, passing the puck. I go to the Pizza Pit for a nice slice of pepperoni pizza. Pizza Pit, it's saucy, it's pizza-licious.
Megaball, all hail corporate overlords, proud owners of Pizza Pit Antwerp. Don't forget to come back for week 7 of the Fortnite World Cup when we're back to solos action.
The last couple of matches, I really thought that I'd blown it because I really didn't get much points early on. I thought that there was not really much chance, which I think lifted a lot of pressure off my shoulders because I knew there was nothing to lose. I just went for a lot of kills and there was no pressure on my shoulders, so it was easy. I didn't expect to qualify. Like, I thought I was going to have to go again next week. So going into that last game and actually managing to do it, getting a 12 kill win when I needed an 11 kill win, I was literally just laughing. Like, I was laughing so much. I don't even know why I was laughing. Like, I was just hysteric.
I'd say this one was really different because you're not used to play against the top 3K player. You need to adapt. You play differently. After that last game when I qualified, my brother just came out of his bedroom and we hugged and I was super happy. We jumping around. I'd say right now it's really hard to get top 6 because you never know what's going to happen.
Usually when I just land, I try to get as much mats and loot as I possibly can. I try adapting to the meta and getting as much rotation as I possibly could. And then when I make it to the end game, I try to get as much kills as I possibly can. Usually I like sitting high ground when I know I could probably take advantage of the utility I have in my inventory. But I usually play mid ground when I have a lot of materials I could waste, or I have other movement I could use, maybe a launch pad onto height. And it's pretty much just a mix between what I have and what I think I could possibly do with what I have.
Just having the tools and assets, abilities, and just everything there and using it is going to help me advance for sure. And just taking note of people that keep qualifying. I try to take notes on just about everything just to make sure I know and I have the upper hand on people, just studying how they play and stuff. I have a spreadsheet that I create for each game, so I could recommend this to a lot of players, is that you create a spreadsheet. You make a tally of how many eliminations you have on each game. You make a tally of when you die in the game, and you make a reasoning of how you got eliminated in the match and how you could have benefited it. Duo qualification is the only thing on my mind right now. It's not just for me anymore. I want my duo to qualify too.
My practice normally starts at about 8 a.m. where I just play some creative and mess around and free build for a little bit. And then at about 11 a.m. I'll start playing some low-level scrims just to practice a little bit. And then I'll VOD review a little bit too. And then when 5 p.m. starts, that's when I play the pro scrims and get the most practice in until about 12 a.m. I like to have other people VOD review me. I don't really like to self-VOD review that much. I do it sometimes though, but having other people look at your game can make you really see the mistakes that you can actually point out yourself because you just don't really see them as mistakes. So then when you have someone else come in as a third party and look in at what the mistakes you're doing, it can really improve on your gameplay. You're never going to improve if you don't take action on yourself and realize the mistakes that you're doing. You're just never going to get better. You got to fix your own mistakes to improve on the game.
My final games was pretty good, to be honest. I ended up in top 5 and top 3 with a lot of kills, so that definitely made me qualify. Celebrating with the other guys was amazing. We were having fun and celebrating me and just having a great time. It's my first trip to New York and USA in general. It's very exciting. It's a big moment of my life.
Yo, what's up, Fortnite fam? DJ Zeke in the building. Do you want to be part of a Fortnite festival featuring your favorite Fortnite creators, characters, and celebrities? Well, then you need to hit up the Block Party. This 2-day event on June 15th and 16th at the LA Forum. Tickets are just $35. What are you waiting for? Day 1, the first ever Fortnite Creative Showdown. Celebrities, gaming personalities, and a few lucky fans will fight for fame in this player-made game built by Team Evolve. Day 2, the Celebrity Pro-Am returns. 50 celebrities, 50 pro gamers, all pair up and battle for a $3 million charity prize pool. I can't wait to party with you, so get your tickets now and I'll see you at the Block Party.
This is the robe I'm known for, so I had to wear it in the interview. The last couple of matches, I really thought that I'd blown it because I really didn't get much points early on. I thought that there was not really much chance, which I think lifted a lot of pressure off my shoulders because I knew there was nothing to lose. So going into that last game and actually managing to do it, getting a 12 kill win when I needed an 11 kill win.
Sleep taking that victory royale, 64 points on that leaderboard for his final game. Absolutely insane.
I was literally just laughing. Like, I was laughing so much. I don't even know why I was laughing. Like, I was just hysteric. Custom games are definitely good to see how you can play against the top players. However, that's more practice for the finals in New York, because obviously in these qualifiers you're against the top 3,000. You don't know where every player is going to drop. Whereas in New York, you might know where all the pros drop, you know? It's different practice. The best practice for those was definitely things like the Black Heart Cup, the Scallywag Cup. Customs don't really prepare you for the randomness of online qualifiers. I have definitely done a lot of VOD reviews, especially on Shinken and Stompy. Stompy solos I've watched a lot. I look for rotations. I look for whether he likes to chill on the edge of zone, whether he likes to go in the mid of zone. I look to see whether he tries to avoid mid-game fights. I was also really struggling with a landing spot, so I looked at so many different players' landing spots to see what was good, and I ended up finding my own with this new patch. Joining Fnatic has been wonderful. Like, I'm gonna give a big special thank you to my manager Victor. He is just an amazing guy. I've always known I had it in me, but Victor believing in me and signing me to Fnatic when I really didn't have too much to my name gave me so much more confidence. It changed everything for me going into this World Cup. The first thing I did actually was I rejoined my friends group. It's called the IT Chat. Shout out to IT Chat. I joined the chat and I was like, boys, I think I've done it, because I was talking to them through the whole time. And then I deafened up on Discord. I ran downstairs. I think I told my mom, I think I've done it. Joining the IT Boys is absolutely great. And I'm also going to be seeing Slayer from King Hitters of Oceania. Shout out to King Hitters as well. I love the Oceania boys. We're going to have a big group photo of it, especially the UK guys as well. It's going to be so nice to meet everyone.
It is finals day here for the Fortnite World Cup Online Open Qualifiers. I'm Golden Boy, one of your hosts, joined once again by a top flight team of commentators. You got Sundown, you got Courage, you got Monster D-Faced, you got Dr. Lupo, and you also have Zeke over there in the lingering in the side. How you doing, Zeke? I miss you.
I'm good.
No, that's it. See, you've ruined all opportunity.
Already over finals.
Already, all opportunity for you to speak is just out there now. Okay, it's just terrible. Okay, so as we have previously done in the past, right, we've always recounted the regions that have already competed. And just to throw it out there, right, I do remember it is solos. That's what we're playing here today.
Proud of you.
Well, thank you. You
did it.
All right, because, last time, I kind of had a little bit of, it happens to the best of us. So let's move on, though, to the schedule and take a look at the action that has already transpired. Because as usual, because they're actually back, they're like ahead of us in time. Oceania and Asia had already concluded their game. So Oceania, Asia, that is a wrap there. We're going to be moving on to Europe as our first region we're covering on broadcast. Then we're going to check out Brazil, followed by NA East and then NA West to close it out. Players are going to be competing in this format right here. You know it, you love it. Once you hit 25th place, you get 3 points. At 15th place, you get an additional 2, making it 5 points. Then from 5th place or 2nd to 5th place, you get yourself 7 points total. The Victory Royale would give you an additional 3 points, making it 10 total. Each elimination is worth 1 point. And the players, as always, are going to be competing for the share of $1 million spread out across the regions. A lot of cash. We've already given out $6 million from the previous weeks. Now it's time to give out some more money. Why not, right? I feel like I'm just the giving tree here. So as far as the other part that is probably the more important aspect of it is going to be the qualifying spots. Yes, so players are going to be competing for spots at the Fortnite World Cup Finals in New York City, week 7. It's going to get 8 spots for Europe. NA East and NA West will have 6 and 2 respectively. Asia and Brazil will have 2 spots available this week, just like they did in week 3. And Oceania will have 1 spot. Bear in mind, Asia and Oceania have already been decided. We'll cover that in just a second. And these players will be joining this list of players that have already qualified for the finals in New York City. Some familiar faces that you see there, such as Dubs, Vivid, or Cease, or maybe if you're looking, to see the likes of, I don't know, like Benny, or from Tifu. I think we kind of have to talk about that. Psalm as well. Some great players on this list. In week 5, we had some more players joining them, like Mr. Savage, who's a brilliant player, or Issa, or Zate. So many players that have already punched their ticket to the New York City finals. And everyone's getting very excited for the fun on social media. Let's actually take a look here at our giant electric wall. And we have some reactions already from our players that have qualified, some players that did not qualify, right? Or individuals that already did, like Fax Fox, wishing Arias luck because he's happy that he qualified.
Yeah, so very happy that he qualified, and you can actually see Arias down here saying, I'm very happy to go to the World Cup with my elementary school friend, Top Fax Fox. So small world, right? Going all the way back, wow. Both grow up and end up being 2 of the best Fortnite players in the world, both going through in the solos competition. Also, shout out to Jordan from the X2 twins taking it home there in Oceania. Saying New York baby, throwing that one up there. OC was an incredible battle all the way through last night. We'll touch on that in a bit. But again, congratulations to all of these guys. You can see Hood J up there just saying it's beautiful. Fortunately covered up, but he was talking about that little qualification mark there, just saying like, oh, I'm so happy I get to see it next to my name. I mean, that's what these guys are all playing for. They all want to see that little trophy right next to their name. You can load up the leaderboard, see those trophies in there, and see who ends up qualifying and going through.
The money is all well and good, but at the end of the day, it's about punching your ticket to the Fortnite World Cup Finals in New York City. So, as usual though, with competitive Fortnite, there's always going to be some changes, as you can always expect to see something new thrown in there. And this time around is no different. We'll just breeze through this one very quickly. Sundown, we got some new things. I actually had an opportunity to drop into a hotspot. It was pretty awesome. I picked up a nice gold weapon and then instantly was eliminated. So, feels bad, man.
Sounds like an experience that you might end up having. They're not called hotspots for no reason as you go through their little double negative, but each one is labeled on the map. You can see you're guaranteed to have one. There's a 25% chance at 2 and a 5% chance at 3. There's also guaranteed loot going through. That means the chests end up spawning, and they have a slightly bumped up loot table in there. And on top of that, also have the loot carriers flying around that will drop blue or higher rarity weapons. So basically guaranteed to get a nice little loadout, with the flip side of a lot of other people and everyone in the server knows that that's there. And also going in there, just some adjustments going through to shadow bombs and the loot table. And so shadow bombs, slight availability reduction. And the bigger thing, reduce their drop count from 3 to 2. So max cap, you can still carry 6 in a slot, but means you're gonna have to find 3 different pairs of them. Semi-auto sniper, out of the vault, back into the pool, adds into that already kind of a bunch of snipers going around, but higher rate of fire, 75 damage there. Then combat shotgun had a little bit of adjustment too, a little bit of a drop in terms of both the floor loot and the chest availability.
That's right. So a lot of changes as usual, but you can expect to see our players basically, working around that. And even then, the top players still continue to perform week in and week out. It has been so impressive to see. So speaking of the top players, let's start diving into the regions. And first, it's Oceania that will take the stage. And they had, I saw Sundown tweeting very late at night, my friend.
Sorry.
Probably, it's very clear that you should be in bed, but it's okay. Maybe you're in bed watching the games.
That's actually what I was doing. I had on my work computer, had all the multi-box for everyone who was streaming, and then on my laptop, I was just kind of jumping through all the other games. But Jordan from the X2 Twins taking home the top spot, clutched it up in his very last game. Honestly, this match was absurd. Going into the last hour, the top 4 players, the top 3 were all tied at 52 points, and then one was right off the pace. Zore was just off the pace at 51, and then the spread from 1st to 10th was like 8 points. So typically we've seen 1 or 2 players, particularly Volks and Parpy last week, just blow it out of the water. Wasn't the case here. Came down to the very last matches, and I actually want to check out Jordan's match history here so we can kind of get a look into what that looked like. And one thing that they stress big is game management and keeping a strong mental game. So first, right off of the bat, boom. 0 elims, 91st. That's rough. However, follows it right back up. Second, 10 elims. First, 9 elims. 6 elims. That's a fantastic run. And even here, getting 5 elims in 28th, that's tough, leaving 3 points on the table, but the 5 elims feels really good. The one thing I want to note here, 70th, 0. 50th, 0. Wow. 98th, 1.
That's rough.
Going through there. That is incredibly rough. He was clear by 4 points in the end, but the thing is, he played all of these matches incredibly quickly. He played them and he made sure he grinded these ones out, had his fast drops there, didn't get too caught up in it, and then the very last match, Golden Boy.
And yeah, so dropping 8 points on the eliminations and then getting the additional 10 for the victory royale. Now, the thing you said, he qualified by 4 points?
4 points, yep.
So think about it like this, Game 5, well, even though he placed 28th in Game 5 and didn't get any points for the placement, those 5 eliminations were basically like the difference maker for him when you really look at this, because he needed some kind of value out of that game, and that is exactly what he got out of it. Whereas you see 98th place gets 1 elimination, that's rough. 70th or even that 50th one and gets 0 eliminations for those 2 games, that is definitely a struggle. But very well done to keep his composure the entire time.
Yeah, well done indeed. And able to stay inside that 60-40 range. And let's take a look at some of the gameplay and what really enabled him to do this. And the thing you really need to stress is the strong mental game, because the other thing to consider in Oceania, when you need to be the top of the top, Jesse and Jordan, both in solos and in duos, have had weeks where they've been there, where they have won 4 straight matches, but somebody else is eliminating harder, or somebody else is also winning their matches. They've been so close so many times to then have it come down to the very last game, and they're competing with each other too. Jesse was right there. Jesse was on the pace the entire time. He was in the top 10. I believe he was only about 15 points off of the qualification spot at the end. So they're sitting next to each other the entire time, going after this, trying to chase it. And the fact they've been so close, and then to have 3 tough games right at the end, to then finish with 8 elims and a victory royale was absolutely absurd. And you saw him just running through. And the thing is, he was playing much more aggressive than we typically see. The Twins are known for playing for late, kind of sticking in those placement points early, and then kind of having to play catch up with the elims. Completely different. He had about 60 to 70% of his points from the first 5 games out of those elims going on, and then it tapered back into placement.
Well, I think, personally speaking, it's because he was rocking the Grumble Gang. That's really all it was. Honestly, I think that's what it is.
He might be a really good player.
That too. That too. It's more than likely that one, and we'll leave it to that, but Grumble Gang all day. All right, so pretty awesome stuff there, and congratulations once again to the twins, well, at least one of them for qualifying, and we'll see how that continues on from there. But let's move over to Asia, where we had 2 spots up for grabs here, and it is going to be Hood J and Arius, who you saw on the social wall earlier, but there are going to be some returning competitors, some returning qualifiees, I guess. Is that the right term?
Returning qualifiers, I would say.
Returning qualifiers.
That's fine.
You had Peter Pan and Fax Fox there from week 5, and Fax Fox from week 1, which, just to harp on real fast, the fact that in week 1, Fax Fox qualified, the game has changed substantially from week 1 to week 7, and Fax Fox is still at the top, still performing incredibly well. That's impressive, Sundown.
Yeah, he's been incredibly impressive. And I mean, honestly, all of these guys on these page have been there over and over again. We saw XXM qualify last week for the duos. We saw a duo up there in every single one of the times. And we've seen the Meta Boys and T1 always up there, but really big props going out to Hood J and Arius to be able to put together an impressive run. Let's take a look at a little bit of their gameplay and how they were able to get it done. And the one thing that I really want to stress here, again, taking advantage of your moments and getting the elims. A lot of people think like, yeah, it is so kind of elimination heavy in here, but these guys are doing it based off of playing for late and getting these placements and then watching how they run through. I know that Shawager talked about it, but in these regions that don't necessarily get as much of the spotlight, watching how they take these engagements, you can learn a lot about the fights.
What a play.
When to push, when you can take advantage, right? Like, you saw how he was able to get the edit and he pushed around the left hand, but right there, Arius using the stink to force out aim hero and then taking advantage of it. And then one other thing that I was seeing last night that I love from both the OC and Asia guys, what they were doing with boogie bombs and ballers is they would start carrying boogie bombs to ambush ballers in the late game, not with the intention of eliminating them, but with the intention of stealing the ballers so they could have 1 or 2 rotations and then getting aggressive with it. And we saw Arius did it a couple of times. Also, shout out to Mr. Fresh Asian. He was doing that all night, just hijacking people's ballers and then going through and picking targets. Really incredible, and love seeing some of that innovation coming out from the other regions.
Wow. I mean, the footage right there alone was very impressive. And I think, again, I'm so excited to see these players play in New York, man. Like, you know, just getting that, like, the even playing field, right? Everyone in the same spot. And we're just going to throw it down to see who's the best of the best. That's what it's about.
Yo, I want a Fax Fox versus Tfue, like, early or mid-game fight, and I just want to watch that play out. Like, the idea of that just has me so excited. And you throw in some of these other guys who are able to make ridiculous plays, like throw Jordan pushing into your box or post it up in the late game. Like, all of these guys are capable of doing so much. And now, after this, there's one more week of solos at this point. We'll be punching in these guys' tickets, so let's add these guys to the board. But on top of that, after today, there's only so many more spots, so let's toss 3 of them on up there. Jordan, the twin, up there saying, I will not lose. Meta, Hood J getting his spot up there. And finally, T1 represented up on the board with Arius. And also, the I will not lose boys actually showing for once they will not lose.
Yeah, I tell you what, you should try out for like Jeopardy or something. You know, the way you hit.
Oh, I know. It's just it's all production. Trust me.
It's all good. Oh, look at that. You see, you hit it and it came up. You can't break things, man. You can't break things. Wait, I don't know if it'll work. Whoa! Okay, never mind. I didn't know.
It's too far. I can't. I don't know what to do with my hands now.
I'm not kidding you. I did not know. I did not know it was a touchscreen. Yeah, you put your hands up. I didn't know it was a touchscreen. That's horrifying. Okay, the power at the hands of production. They are all-knowing beings. All right, so let's jump into our first games. I'm excited. It's going to be Europe. It's going to be sick. So let's go ahead and bring out your casters for this first block of games. Who do we have? Honestly, it's going to Lupo. Okay, that guy. And then we have Monster D-Phase. I know that guy. All right, I'm just...
The level of excitement there.
All right, have fun, boys.
Wow.
That was passion. I appreciate that.
That's because I love you, man.
Passion.
What do you want, boys? What do you want, boys?
You love seeing an old man mystified by giant LED screens, but right now, Monster D-Face and myself are ready to jump into some games. We got Europe. We got week 7 solos.
That's
Dude, right. there's 2 weeks left of solos. That means there's so much pressure on the people that have not qualified yet, and things are gonna get crazy.
It's time to put up or jump into.
I commend you for that. That's actually pretty good. Not gonna lie.
was clean. It was clean. I'll take that. You know, put that into the reels of moments of MBF on camera. But here we have it. Yeah, so like, EU's my favorite region. Do you know that, Dr. Lupo?
Really?
Absolutely. Love watching these guys go toe-to-toe. I've always felt like they've been ahead of the curve for the most part, and they just really do put up.
I'm just out here looking for minigun plays. I'm going to be honest with you.
And minigun, dude, minigun's savage.
Europe seems to have taken hold of the minigun more so than any other region. We've seen it a little more as the World Cup qualifiers have gone on, but still, there's it has this consistent presence, which I love to see. A lot of gunfire down there. Wham, looking down from above, looking any shots you could take. Just quick little edit, reset. You see players do that quite a bit so they can get the transparency on the material so they can look through and see if there might be anybody mid-rotation. Plus, if you look in the bottom right corner, he's in a great spot right now. Basically, in the next safe zone, we're in the 50-50 zone. We got 42 seconds until this closes, which means those lanes, like the giant ramp up in front of him, I would almost anticipate players potentially showing up on the move. He might look down from above and get a couple pop shots there, and some of them might not see it. Or right there, Crudenson, not realizing there's multiple sets of eyes watching from above, picking up a quick elim.
And I just want to touch on, like, it's night and day with how much players are alive in these endgame lobbies. Yesterday, we didn't have anything remotely close to this.
Yeah.
And that's how much war is riding on these games here. But it also changes, like, placement or like the player themselves, the people that are willing to alpha up for the high ground. That's how you're going to get these picks on these rotations. There's so much more people in those areas and just so much more going on in these rotations. So whoever does play for high ground on these finals days, they're going to shine out the most, especially in this mid to early game where it's like a big risk to burn material this early before you go into these rotations.
It kind of surprises me based on that he's looking down underneath. He must be listening for footsteps, checking around, see if there's any players in the same structure below. Maybe somebody just not moving, because he does have an opportunity to build up above and go out the top of that pyramid, like you're saying, go for the high ground just a little bit and look for some shots on players that are mid-rotation. He does have somebody 2 blocks over to the right. I don't know if you saw the green silhouette for just a second. Just checking to see behind him. Doesn't know there's a player down below. Kind of spinning like a top right now.
He owns all of this space, so he's actually just got a full-on tower here with zoning.
Here we go.
Nice little shot right there. It's a nice little 60 pop. This Wham is putting down some good pressure on some opponents.
I'd like to note too, he's not getting too forceful about having to rotate just yet, because he has 2 shadow bombs and a rift to go. Now's his time to take opportunities like that. A couple missed shots is too bad. He did have a pretty good chance of picking up that elim. Does find vibes after all. Here we go. Like I said, didn't have to make an early move. He had the rift. He's got shadow bombs. He can just sit and go for those eliminations, because as we were saying before, building up on those elims, that means so much in the late game. Because if you have those established early, if you're sitting on 4, 5, 6 elims going into the last 3 circles, you're so much further ahead of the game than other players. You don't have to play too aggressive. You got those picks when there was so much chaos going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And we saw most players qualify with an average of anywhere from 4 to 5 eliminations by the time everything all wraps up. So if you're picking up points through eliminations, they're going to go a very long way, especially if you can double frag out. Specifically in the early game, because it's harder to get elims in the earlier or the early stages of the map. Ooh. Later in the game, look at all this confusion, look at all this stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. This is where they're picking it up.
All right, we're having a little bit of an issue. We're going to throw over to Sundown quick. Sundown, if you could, please.
Thank you so much, guys. Sorry about that. Real quick, we're having some technical issues on the back end. Got a little bit excited, didn't have our ducks in a row. We're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. We'll get that sorted. We'll get the issues fixed, and we'll get you right back into the action. Don't go anywhere. We're going to take the stream completely down, and then we'll throw it right back on up. Again, we apologize for any inconvenience, and we'll get you right back into the European action.
Months ago, and I didn't have any salary, any org, or didn't have any money, but I made it in the end. I got some money, qualified for the World Cup. It's looking great.
Thank you for everyone who believed in me, because I honestly didn't really believe in myself, but we're here. We have accomplished the final qualifiers. We were going to New York. I'm so happy. Shout out to all my fans. Shout out to my family. Shout out to all the pro players that helped me practice and my teammate. So I love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you in New York.
Yo, check this out. Yo, check this out. check this out.
Jump on and drop in. It's time to kick off the Fortnite World Cup competition. From April 13th to June 16th, we'll be running Fortnite World Cup Online Opens, where you can